So what are some of the factors that perpetuate domestic violence? Culture. So culture plays a significant role in shaping societal norms and attitudes. In some cultures, certain beliefs and practices may be condoned. If some of them even normalize domestic violence. For example, if aggression or controlling behavior is accepted as a way to resolve conflicts or maintain authority within a relationship, it can perpetuate domestic violence. Patriarchy. Patriarchy refers to a societal system or a social system where men hold primary power and authority, and women are often marginalized and subordinated. In such societies, domestic violence can be perpetuated because it reinforces the power dynamics that favor men and enable them to exert control over women. Number 3, gender roles and stereotypes. So traditional gender roles and stereotypes can also contribute to domestic violence by reinforcing the unequal power dynamics across the different genders. When rigid expectations dictate that men should be dominant and aggressive, while women should be submissive and passive, it can lead to an imbalance of power in relationships, making it easier for abusive behavior to occur. Bride price and women abuse. In certain cultures, the practice of paying bride price to the bride's family is prevalent. This custom, while having different cultural meanings, can sometimes lead to the perception of women as commodities. As a result, women may be devalued and treated as possessions, which can increase the likelihood of abuse within such a marriage. Culturally appropriate discipline of wives. In some cultures, there may be beliefs that it is culturally acceptable for a husband to discipline his wife through physical means. This notion of disciplinary violence perpetuates domestic abuse as it normalizes and justifies the use of violence as a means of control within a relationship. Corporal punishment. The use of corporal punishment as a disciplinary tool in child-rearing practices can also contribute to the perpetuation of domestic violence. When children witness or experience violence as an acceptable form of discipline, they may internalize these behaviors and beliefs. As they grow older and enter their own relationships, they might replicate these patterns of violence, leading to a cycle of abuse. Religion. Religious beliefs or interpretations may be used to justify or even tolerate domestic violence. Certain religious doctrines or traditional interpretations may reinforce patriarchal values, gender-based hierarchies, and submissive roles for women, making it more challenging for victims to seek help or even escape abusive situations. However, it is essential to emphasize that not all religious teachings condone violence, and many religious communities actively work to address and combat domestic violence. Other factors could include poverty, accelerate the rate at which domestic violence happens, as financial stress and limited resources may lead to increased tensions within households. Certain economic hardships may contribute to feelings of powerlessness, frustration, which may manifest as abusive behavior. Stress. High levels of stress, whether work-related, financial pressures, or other life challenges, can lead to a volatile environment within a relationship. In some cases, individuals may cope with stress by resorting to violence as a way to release their emotions and regain a sense of control. Women's economic dependency on men. In some societies where women are economically dependent on men or their male partners due to limited access to education or job opportunities, they may be more vulnerable to abuse. Fear of economic repercussions, such as losing financial support, can hinder victims from leaving abusive relationships. So, economically independent women. Paradoxically, economically independent women can also face increased risks of abuse in certain situations. Abusers may feel threatened by the women's financial autonomy, leading to attempts to control or even undermine her economic independence. Lack of skills, lack of communication and conflict resolution skills can lead to the escalation of disputes within a relationship, potentially leading to domestic violence as a means of expressing frustration or even exerting control. Lack of employment. Employment or underemployment can contribute to feelings of inadequacy, powerlessness, which might be displaced onto intimate partners through abusive behavior. Lack of education. Limited access to education for women can perpetuate traditional gender norms, leading to fewer opportunities and reduced ability to challenge abusive situations. Women not being able to access business loans. In some societies, discriminatory practices in access to financial resources and business loans can hinder women from achieving economic independence and escaping abusive relationships. Discriminatory laws against women. Legal systems that discriminate against women, either explicitly or through biased implementation, can create an environment where perpetrators of domestic violence face little or no consequences for their actions, leading to further perpetuation of abuse. Socializing. Social norms and peer influence can also play a role in perpetuating domestic violence. In some communities, acceptance or normalization of abusive behavior can deter victims from seeking help or even reporting abuse. Personal factors such as alcohol abuse or personality disorders. Individual factors such as alcohol abuse or drug abuse and certain personality disorders may also increase to an increased likelihood of engaging in abusive behavior. Substance abuse can impair judgment and self-control, while certain personality traits may also lead aggression and control over others.